Hello there guys and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today I'm talking about the video you all asked for. You asked for this video. You wanted to hear about my time in Dubai with two young millionaires, Samuel Onuha and his brother Ruben. It is absolutely incredible to talk about these guys. Samuel became a client of mine when he reached out, and I'm going to tell you what transpired. I'm going to actually talk more about what I learned from living with them rather than what I taught them. And just so you know, these two brothers are the real deal. They're absolutely, they've become friends of mine. You know, it's a wonderful working and friendship relationship. So I'm going to discuss it with you a little bit, okay? Before I do that, if you like Spirituality Simplified, please consider like, sharing and subscribing to the channel. Also, join my free Facebook group, The Healing Circle, and check me out on Instagram. All of that is linked in the description. So I worked with Samuel. He reached out to me because he is a high level entrepreneur. He is a very high level, high energy guy who's creating a real ripple effect in this world. And he came to me because after all of that, he'd hit slight wall in his energy levels and in his body. And I won't go into massive details, but he did me a testimonial that's on my website. He had chronic fatigue from all the work that he put in. Now, doctors didn't have the solution. Other people didn't have the solution. So he came to me. We worked together. And actually, I went out there personally for a couple of weeks with him. And we had a wonderful healing of that. But this is not the point of that video. The point of the video is through that, I got to spend time with him and his brother, and it changed my mind in the level of abundance and success world. So I want to talk about that today because this is what we're going to do. We're talking about it because you need to hear it too. And this is how it changed my life. Now, connecting to his faith brought him a healing, but what he did for me just by osmosis is what I'm talking about today. So let's go into it. I'm absolutely excited to share it with you. I'm just going to bring up the 10 things that I learned from spending this time with him. So what I learned is on my discussions with him that pain is a great energy to start. It starts you off. You see, Samuel even telling his own story. He will tell you in his documentary and on his channel there, and I'm going to link his channel in the comments. He will tell you that pain was the reason he started. Pain of being this broke guy, wanting to be better, wanting to improve himself. But basically what I taught him though, and what we discovered together on our time, is pain is a great starting energy, but it is not the energy that's going to keep you going. It burns you out eventually because it cannot keep driving you. Pain is a wonderful starter engine. It's almost like the starter motor of a car, but peace, serenity, divinity, divine guidance is the petrol that actually feeds the engine. So we're running on fumes, you know. So that was the first lesson. That's number one. Number two, which I found very powerful, and I speak about this in my videos, haven't I? Very rich people, they aren't grateful all the time. They're not always grateful. How many coaches out there are always going to be grateful? Be grateful and you will get it. I love gratitude. Gratitude is very important to remind yourself of where you are rather than what your problems are. But it's not the only creative energy. What is the difference is rich people are expectant of their wealth to increase. They're expectant of success. So it's that expectant, it's that ease, it's that peace around finances that really is the biggest indicator. It's the biggest thing. So I always say to people, yeah, gratitude for money that you haven't got already sometimes makes you feel actually more fearful. But what we can do instead is, instead of this feeling of needing to feel grateful, we can start to work with our energy, become peaceful around money and be expectant of it. Now, this isn't a lesson, this isn't a video of how to teach you how to do that yet, but I will, if you like that, comment down below and I'll do a video of how to become expectant of wealth. Okay? Number three now, guys. We're here at number three. A vision is important. Now, one thing that Samuel has in abundance is a vision of his future, and he's living in that vision now. But it was the burning passion that was the essential part. See, I love visualization, I love affirmation, but we need to find something when we're coming to success and abundance that we're passionate about. You see, because there's no one who's had a route to success and abundance that hasn't gone through some level of pain, some level of having to break through barriers of change and pain. Because you see, you have to change. You literally have to change to become different. And change is painful at times. So passion can drive you through those walls of change. So what I realized there is it made me look back at my life. I was passionate about becoming an actor. And then I was passionate about helping people change their lives. So passionate that I was willing to do it for as long as it took to be able to help people. Do it for as long as it took to become a successful actor. Samuel was so passionate about becoming a successful entrepreneur that it didn't matter how long it took, he was going to get it done. And he was going to give everything to it. That's why he's successful. And that's why he's making 12, 20 million a year or whatever it is now. Okay? Because the vision was there, but the passion was the essential part. Number 4. Now, guys, I speak about this all the time. Elevated emotions don't attract wealth. Because here's the thing, right? I'm looking at these guys. I'm living with them. They're not always walking around feeling like, oh my God, isn't life absolutely incredible? They're just at peace with where they are. But it was the belief. It's the belief, you know? And on the next point, I'm going to talk about being at peace with where you are. But it was the peace that they found, the ease around it. It is belief. It is absolute belief that this is my life. Of course, you know, I lived in their mansion for 2 weeks. And I have to tell you, after a while, it just becomes a house. After you've been in the Rolls Royce, it just becomes a Rolls Royce. After you've done this, after you've done that. This is what I'm trying to say to you guys. It isn't elevated emotions. Everything becomes normal after a while. After you achieve something, it becomes normal once you sit in it for a while. So don't think that you need to go to elevated emotions all the time. It's a nice to break you out of yourself, but it's non-essential for creation in the long run. What actually is number 5, normalizing wealth and luxury. How many of you sit in wealth and luxury and feel uncomfortable? How many of you go to a posh dinner and say, I don't deserve to be here? How many of you pay for something and you feel really scared and frightened? Or you say, I could never afford that. You don't normalize it. So what I'm saying, instead of making it some big deal, you actually normalize wealth and luxury. That's number 5. Normalize wealth and luxury. How do I do that? Well, when I was sitting in their house, I started to go, this is just a house. There's no real meaning behind it. Yes, I could start to go, oh my God, I'm on the Palm. Oh my gosh, I'm in a 20 million pound mansion. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. But actually, it's just a home. And I'm allowed to live in here as well. I'm allowed to ride in a Rolls Royce. It's effortless for me. And when we were going shopping all the time and they were spending, and I would see them spending, just fortunes on these clothes and beautifully, and because they deserve it. And I just noticed any resistance I had to what they were doing and myself, and I would let all of that resistance go around spending on such luxury. And I started to sit in the luxury as if it was mine. It became normal to me to live in that. So it's funny now, my life since being with them has expanded in the abundance ways because I've normalized abundance now. I've done that by letting go of the resistance around the fear of abundance. Do you get where I'm coming from? Okay, that was number 5. This brings me on to number 6. When they were buying their clothes and when they were doing this, they paid for it freely. When we had lunch, I didn't even see the bill. It was paid for. And there was never, how much is it? How much is this? Pay with love. Now, don't go beyond your means. You don't go crazy, but you pay with love. You pay when you buy something, you pay so lovingly. This will come back to me multiplied. They didn't even do it because they just know. They just knew it was. And I often now don't need to say it because I just know it will. You see what I'm coming from here? So that's what I'm trying to say here to you. I say this with such love. I say this with, if you can only afford to go to the shop and get your shopping, that's fine. But don't pay it with fear and lack and loss. Pay it with love. Pay it freely. You must spend and then you can receive. Because what I'm trying to say is it's like the heartbeat. If you had blood pumping through your veins and it was coming out, you'd be fine. But if it wasn't coming back in, we've got a problem. That's the same with money. If it was coming in but not going out, you've got a problem too. Make your money be like the flowing the ever going, ever flowing heartbeat of your life. Spend it lovingly, receive it lovingly. That's why when anyone signs up to me and they say, "Did you get payment?" I say, "Received with love." And then when I have to buy something, I spend it with love. Okay, number 7, give freely. I never paid for a meal, rarely paid for a meal out there, because they were just so giving, because they were so abundant. So when you are abundant, you do give. You know, I've happened to hire my mother-in-law. I've hired a VA. I take people out for dinners. I do this, I do that. I bought someone a drink out of nowhere the other night because they said it was their birthday, but we were at a lavish restaurant. So, you know, it was an investment, but it's like, I just loved it. I loved that. So we must start to give freely. Now, if you don't have finances to give something else. Give your time, give your love, give your knowledge. I tried to YouTube because I wanted to give knowledge for free. And then it will come back to you in kind. It will come back to you. Give lovingly, give freely. Number 8, because I'm going to try and fly through these now. Know your worth. One thing that they made me face when I come out there was they said, you know, when I signed up for your individual coaching sessions, you're too cheap. And they really made me face myself. And the thing is so many of us are scared to charge. We're scared to put, charge for something. Or, you know, any of you business owners out there, how much are you always thinking, "I'll discount this, I'll do this, I'll do that"? Know your worth. That's what you must do. Know your worth. So trust me, if you are thinking you're charging too less, just know this. Too little, sorry. Ask yourself, how many people have worked with me because I'm cheaper than most? Ask the better question, how many people haven't worked with me because I'm too cheap? That's what you need to know. Know your worth. That was a brilliant one for me. Okay, number 9. It's who you become that's important on the journey to success. Now, Samuel is a 25-year-old guy. Now, he's inspiring to me, who's 11 years older than him. But I say, this is what it is. And I was reiterating these facts to him because I asked him the question. I said, you know, what happens if everything's gone? Because it's meaningless. The watch, the Rolls Royce, it's all meaningless, really. It's a lovely symbol. It's lovely comfort, but it doesn't mean anything. So I said, what is the meaning here? When we were doing our sort of walks and lessons, and I was pushing him to find his answers. And he said something beautifully. He said, "No, I'm not scared about losing everything because of who I've become to get here. That's what's going to take me forward." And I was like, there you go. Now you're speaking divine truths. Who you become on the journey to success is your true wealth, not the money. The money's a byproduct of becoming someone different. Money will always come back to you when you are in a certain state of energy. So you don't have to fear it. So work on changing yourself. Don't necessarily work on becoming abundant. I worked on changing my relationship to money, then abundance came. You see, abundance and money is always a byproduct, okay? Now, let's just end with number 10, I'm saying. This was a big one, and this was a big lesson that they taught me, and I will take this anywhere. Stop trying to go alone. Invest in the help that you need. How many of you out there have been doing it for years on your own, never invested in a mentor, never invested in yourself to change? Just keep going from one YouTube video to the next. Trust me, investing in myself, getting coaches for things that I'm not great at, like a business coach, like a fitness coach, it has been essential for me. Also, hiring people in my team that help me to do the day-to-day running of things. It is essential. So I'm going to tell you this now. It's essential for you too. You need to do this. So stop trying to go alone. Whatever you can do. If I know it's not possible for everyone to get a mentor, but what you can do is create a community of your own. Bring people around you. I've created a community on my Facebook group. Use it. Learn to be able to find the help that you need. So create the team if you're a businessman. Get the mentor if you can. Do it now. And that's what I want to end you with, guys. What did you think about these 10 lessons? Is there one that stood out for you? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you at the next one, guys.